Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Old Men Talking. I guess since John did the introduction last week with his topic, it should be my turn, huh, John?
Hi, mate.
Here, welcome back, John. And today we are going to do a topic that I wanted to do, and I discussed it with John and I wanted to uh, talk a little, discuss what our views about women are today and how they've changed throughout the years. Now, I'm not talking about like just relationships, but if that needs to be a part of the discussion, there's no problem with it. But like, just our thoughts about women in general, you know. Um, if anybody wants to come onto the show, they're more than welcome to. It's just John and me here. I put links up in the Minds chat on my profile on Skype as well as on Rumble. So all you gotta do is click on the Jitsi link and you can come in and have a conversation with us about it. So, with that being said, I can maybe kind of throw in a little bit. What I'm talking about, John, is, not really just about relationships and stuff, but like just dealing with women on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger, I know like I grew up with two sisters. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of had an advantage to a lot of males who never grew up with sisters, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I kind of knew what they were all about, like the hairspray and the crazy stuff in the morning, stuff like that. But I do know that when I was younger, it seemed weird because I was afraid of females. You know what I mean? And I think that's where guys really learn how to be brave is when they first, come into contact with girls, and they have to actually ask them out on dates and stuff like that. So that was one thing that I did want to talk about. But then, like as I got older, I noticed that like I when I was younger, I was more naive, I guess you could say, when it came to females. I was like always gullible, you know what I mean? And not only was I gullible, but I was stupid when with my own actions. So I quickly learned what like toxic relationships were and stuff like that, and being around women that were just negative all the time. But as time went on, that kind of changed. I started learning how to deal with them, be a better person, stuff like that. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm scared of women as well. Still am. Especially my other half, but she's in the mood. Well, I run.
Yeah.
No, with me, what can I say? I think when I was younger, you're more shallow. If you were dating women and stuff, you judge them physically more than like when you're older. It's more about, to me anyway, how you get on with a person. Now. But when I was younger, it was like, no, they gotta be, they gotta look like models, even though I was nothing to look at. But that's what our youngster thinks. They think like that. It's sad. It's shallow. But 99% of men are like that. They think, oh, I gotta date someone who looks really, nice and stuff like that. And I'm glad that I don't think that way anymore. I really am glad because I just glad of that way. Um, but anyway, when I was young, dating wasn't so much a problem for me because when I was really young, about 18, 19, on there, I was on the CB's radio in Wales, yeah, and I made a lot of friends, and I dated a lot of girls through the CB, and it was just very easy for me back then. But there we go. Life changes, and you move on. And yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just like you just change so much as I said before, and I think you interviewed me. You view things different in your 20s, and you do in your teens, you do in your 30s, and everything. It's your outlook sort of changes, and I think as I got older, maybe I've dated women that I probably wouldn't have done when I was younger. Definitely would. I'll definitely say that. And sometimes I've dated them maybe for the wrong reasons, because I just was single and stuff like that. And I'm glad to say I'm not that shallow anymore. I've been with someone now for coming up to 13 years now, and I'm glad I'm not that person I was when I was youngster, because okay, it was fun, yes, when I was young, yes, but not when I'm older now. You realise it's not what life's about, and I think as you get older, for me anyway, I've got more respect for women than I had when I was younger, a lot more, and definitely, and I've got a lot of my friends women, like online anyway, like people like I've interviewed and stuff like that. I've been friends with them for a long time, and there's nothing like we're just friends. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing else. There's no more ulterior motives. There's no more. We just are friends, and that's the way it is. But like 30, 40 years ago, no, I couldn't not be friends with a girl at all. No, I would either like I was dating them, or I didn't speak to them. It was just awful that back then. I was an awful person, but I'm glad to say I'm a lot better than that now. And that's my partner. Trusts me, because she knows that sometimes I'm talking to like women on you to do with interviews and stuff like that. Because I talk in the background and stuff before we talk proper, and she can be at ease with it, because she knows I'm not like I've got no ulterior motives or anything. I'm just doing it because that's what I'm doing. There's no other reason for it. And she trusts me, and I trust her. And she'd probably break up with me after saying this interview, but here we are. So, it's just like, I think you're a better person as you get older. You should become a better. Not everyone does. You've got some, like, I suppose you call them like narcissists and stuff like that, who treat women bad when they're young, and they're still the same when they're older. But that's them, but it's not me, thank God. I actually know of a few like that, actually, but there we go. And it's the same. I wish Bob was here, to be honest. I'd like to hear her perspective, but there we go. I'm not sure why she's not here.
She probably got scared. Said she doesn't want to. Yeah. Said she didn't want to talk to two old men about their perspectives on women.
Yeah, but I'd like to heard her perspective towards men, because when she was young and to where she is now. But there we go. We'll have to be for another time. Because I do know women, they're like some women always attracted to the bad boys. You know what I mean? The ones that they know they're going to treat them bad, probably, but they don't care. They want to be with them, and that's why I've never dated any women like that, because I'm not really a bad one like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. In that sense, they seem bad. I'm covered in tattoos and all the whatever else they deem to be bad. I don't know, in their eyes, But so there we go. That's pretty much my take on it.
I was listening to you, and there's a couple things, man, that has always stuck out to me. Like, giving women respect, is something that is true. Like, and that was something that took time. Like, for me, I haven't told too many people this. I'm pretty sure I told you, I told Karma, and then I told Bob Dub the other day, but it's like, I've been celibate for like 10 or a little bit over 10 or 11 years. It's somewhere in that time period. It was just a little bit after I met you that I decided to do it. And the weird part is even though I did that, I didn't do it, because of any bad feelings towards women. You know what I mean? It was because I noticed bad behaviors in me, and things that I had to do for myself. And one of them was, if I wasn't able to get into good relationships, I didn't need to be in one,
Yeah.
And it's weird because after that happened, all of a sudden I started developing, developing skills where I could actually talk to women, you know what I mean? Just openly talk to them.
Yeah.
And I wasn't afraid of them. They weren't. I didn't seem like a threat to them. You know what I mean? Like every guy that I've noticed, whenever they get in a conversation with a woman, there's always some fear that they're going to try to make a pass at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that today I don't have that problem. And that all started because of that. And like the relationships that I was always in was really, really toxic. So I would get into these bad relationships that would end real horrible. And today I'm able to recognize toxic relationships before I even get into them. Where when I was younger, I was in it head deep. I mean, I wasn't even thinking. I just jump into it, one bad relationship after another. And through all that, where I'm going with this is I actually learned, like how to show respect to women. I was watching on Rumble the other day. No, it was more than the other day. It was about 3 weeks ago. And this is the weird part, because it's not just the men, but it was the women in this stream that were just as bad. But there was these two men who really weren't, all that great looking. And they were on this stream just bad-mouthing women, okay? Talking crap about them. But the messed up part was there was an entire room full of beautiful girls. They were just surrounding them and just putting up with that crap, listening to it. And these guys were like just straight out insulting them, and which that right there I thought was disrespectful. But the crazy part about it was these women were still sitting there and putting up with it. That just, it amazes me how messed up not just men but women are when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? There's certain things that you shouldn't put up with.
Yeah.
And that right there is what I get at when I'm talking about like learning how to respect women. I know that that's not good. It's not even a positive way of doing things. I had to sit through 2 interviews recently with 2 guys that were in they were an anti-woman group. I know you know who I'm talking about. We were talking about the name of it. It's a Chewog or something like that. But
I think I saw you speaking about it on Minds, but I didn't really can't remember the details of it now.
But I sat and I listened to him, and it was like, I mean, that's the narcissist thing, you know what I mean? It's like that you were talking about. Like, I feel bad for anybody that has to freaking experience that, you know what I mean? Because I'm just glad that it didn't happen to me, you know what I mean? Where I could become a person who was like a woman hater, basically, I just, that's some of the stuff that really sticks out to me, I mean, and I think a lot of that has to do with being around my mom now, because she's older and she needs somebody to help take care of her, Like, she starts acting out because she's older, and I have to actually hold my tongue, you know what I mean? Because it gets frustrating. It's not as easy as what everybody thinks being around the elderly, and
Yeah.
it just teaches you different kinds of skills. So I was glad you brought that stuff up. And another thing too, I wanted to ask you about, like, and this bugs me all the time. And I ain't wanting you to say anything about your personal life, okay? But like these freaking GNC commercials that you always see on TV, and these ED commercials and shit. What is the deal with like all these 30 and 40-year-old men running around getting like freaking male enhancement shit? You know what I mean? It
I haven't
isn't.
seen anyway.
They're all over the freaking thing, and I didn't notice it until I started getting older, and I'm like, man, I've never had a problem like that. I was like, what the hell is this stuff always on for, you know? But
All right.
it seems like the guys that are, like you said, that were shallow when they were younger, and they're still shallow now. They got like this complex, you know what I mean? Where they have to keep trying to stay young and keep doing what they were doing back when they were 20. And they go out and they spend just endless amounts of money on that stuff, you know what I mean? And and to me personally, I think they do that because they don't want to act their age, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay to be balding. It's okay to have frickin', you know, a slower sex life, you know? I just see that stuff as ridiculous, so that's all I want to say on the subject. But like, have you ever thought about that kind of stuff before?
Which stuff now? Which bit do you mean?
Like the last part with like all this crazy male enhancement shit.
Oh God, no, God never. I'm old, and I mean, don't dye my hair or anything. I'm old. I'm old and grey. I'm old. You know. I am where I am.
Yeah.
I no, I've not thought about anything like that. No, myself. But I think where a lot of it is with men in their 40s, say 50 sometimes, and then you see they're suddenly dating they finish with their wives and they're dating a 20-year-old young woman or something like that. It's like midlife crisis they go through. So a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I think it happened for me. Around the time, was I that age? I'm trying to think how old I was. Oh yeah, when I got divorced from my first wife, separated from her, it was around the time of my early 40s anyway. So, and it wasn't nothing to do with me. It was totally to do with her. We divorced. Absolutely nothing to do with me. It was because she came out with being gay after we were together for 10 years, and so it was like, well, I can't compete. I can't compete with another woman. You know, I'm not going to get her dressed up in a dress or anything. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. You know, so it was just like, there we are. It's over, and that's the end of that. It was like there's nothing you could do. It's just you can't fight with anything like that. So, who's to say? I don't know really. If I'd have stayed with her, and then I'd come to like 40, 45, how I would have been, because I don't know. Because she was a little bit younger than me anyway, not a massive amount. But so I spent then my early 40s for the first 3 years, I think it was. Maybe more. No, a bit more than that. First 5 years, say no. I was 43 when we separated. That's right. The next 3 years, I was single and celibate, and I was, to be honest, I think being celibate sometimes can sort your head out. It really can. It gives you time to like grow as a person. I really think, because I've experienced that. Not always by choice. It just sort of happens sometimes, you know, and it does help you as a person to get your bearings and stuff, and sort yourself out a bit. Especially if you've been in toxic relationships, or in my case, I was in a relationship where I got two-timed after I got engaged to a girl, and it was like really mucked me up mentally for a bit. Now I'm well over it. But you know, anyway, getting back to the subject. Yeah, it never affected me, this midlife crisis, to me, that I'm aware of. I've always been like a Peter Pan at heart anyway. I'm always a youngster at heart, always have been. But I did end up dating a girl who was younger than me. Not like a 20-year-old, nothing like that, but she is younger than me. She's in her 40s and stuff, but she is a lot younger than me. But it wasn't because it was a midlife crisis. Just we were just two people who met and we got on, and we just there was no other parties involved. There was no me leaving my ex-wife to go to her or anything like that, or her leaving her partner to come to me. We were just two single people, and we met, and we just went from there, you know. And but you do see it, yeah. And I know I'm all too familiar as a narcissist close to the family. I'm not going to name him, but I really feel I should do because he's a total dick, if you don't mind me saying that. Excuse my language.
It's fine.
And he's like, it's winding my partner up because she can see it happening, and and then I sometimes get the brunt of it because he's a narcissist. He winds her up, and then she starts gets in her head that all men are like that, and I'm not like that. You know what I mean? It's just for a few minutes. Just, you know what I mean? What have I done?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's funny side, but it's it's a shame that people are like that, you know, because if you show them respect, then the genuine people out there will give you respect. And it's not just that, they feel comfortable around you. As you say, you comfortable now talking to females and stuff now, and they don't feel that they're not intimidated by you or think you're, you know, and stuff like that. So it's all, you know, I think it's better anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be like that. I think it's genuine, much better attitude to have for sure. Then I even got a good friend, and you know him, I'm not going to say his name, but you know him,
Yeah.
of mine. And if you walk down the street, and he's married and stuff, he'd be leering at these. You see this young girl, he'd be leering at them, staring at them, and you think, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? And I just think that's so. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong looking at a pretty girl, or for women to look at a handsome man. Nothing wrong with that. But you don't do it in a way like it's like you're leering at them. I think that's pretty like gross, you know. And especially if you've got your partner like with you, it's the last thing you do. You know what I mean? You just don't. You know what I mean? And I just think that is showing lack of total lack of respect for women. And again, that person that I'm talking about now, he's had some bad experiences with women, really bad, in all fairness to him. Worse than most of us ever have, in all fairness, but I'm not going to bring that up here.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he's like it is. I'm not judging him at all. There's actually quite a lot more to the story than this, but he has had a lot of bad experiences. That's all I'm saying, and it could maybe make him like that. You know, I don't know, but there we go.
When I think of stuff like that, too, like you remember the old Three's Company,
Yeah.
television series.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You guys had it first before us, and over here in America, they had the guy. I think his name was Larry. He lived upstairs, and he was Jack's friend who'd always come down. Now, he's a perfect example of what I think you're talking about right there. You know what I mean? The guy that always has his shirt button like 3 buttons, unbuttoned on the top. You know, looking for the younger girls and stuff. And you see those all the time. You know, like everywhere. And for me today, I mean, don't get me wrong, I look at beautiful girls and stuff, but like you said, you know, I'm not gonna sit there and just, it's kind of like you look like a predator when you're doing that kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's not really all that great. So with me too, one thing that I did want to say too is like just in general, you know, being around like women and behaving differently than what I did when I was younger. I generally enjoy listening to other people talk now, you know what I mean? And I think that also affects just being around like females, whereas before I wasn't able to do that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like now, I just want to actually have a conversation with you. It doesn't matter if you're like a man or a woman. I mean, and I can
Yeah.
talk to you like a human being. And I think that was one problem that I really had before that I couldn't do. You know, so. Um, you know, when it comes to like how you behave around like women today, has that changed? Do you know in your own life?
Me, yeah, I just, I quite, how can I say, um, I always try and cracking jokes and making fun of things, usually myself, or something like that. I'm always funny around men and women, you know. I'm just try to be. That's just the way I am. I'm not trying to get them to like me or dislike. That's just me being me, you know. And I'm pretty much the same, men and women. It's no, I'm exactly the same now. Um, it's like when I was younger. No, I wouldn't be like that. I wouldn't. Even between relationships, if I was could be single for a few months, I still like just wouldn't speak to women really. I just wouldn't bother. Older women in the shop, maybe, you know what I mean, and grands of my friends for that. Yes, I chat with them. Yeah, but younger women, no, I wouldn't speak to any of them. I wouldn't dream of speaking to it like an
Yeah,
enemy, you know, almost ever. I'm not dating you, you're the enemy. So I was like something like that going on in my head, you know.
yeah,
But now I speak to people now when I pick up my son from school. I speak to anyone. I don't really, you know, I just don't think about it now at all. In fact, some of my best friends are women, and I mean it, not just like um, there's one of my son's friends who sometimes watches his videos. As it happens, his mum and me, we've known each other since like I don't know what they call it in America. Maithrin, they call it in Wales. It's like infant school. It's really well
elementary.
um, they go from 2.5, 3 years of age. Pretty
Mm.
much known her and her mum since them days, and we're still like sometimes after school, the her son and my son played together just outside the school for a few minutes, and they go home. And we've been friends for a long time, you know. We talk about stuff and what have you. We're just friends, and
Hmm.
it's nice. But say 20 years ago, I couldn't have done that. I really couldn't have done that at all. I wouldn't be comfortable in my own skin to do that, you know.
Yeah,
Um, it's like, yeah, you know, I mean, we just couldn't do it. I just that's part of the beauty, I think, of getting old. You get more comfortable in your own way. Most of the time, you get more comfortable in your own skin.
yeah.
You because of what you've learned and what have you. And yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. I think.
That's kind of what I was thinking when you're saying there too. You just you get more comfortable in your own skin. You know, it's like for me. I mean, there's no like nobody to impress. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, and I know that it might sound bad, it might sound negative or whatever, but you know what I mean? When we get older, freaking shit starts falling apart. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
like
too right.
you're not that young freaking, you know, muscular dude anymore trying to freaking impress nobody, you know? I mean, you've kind of made it over that age where you're like, man, that stuff's a little bit crazy. I don't want to do that no more. You know what I mean?
No.
And if I had to make a choice between being my age right now and being under the age of say 40, I would never want to be under the age of 40 ever again. I don't even think being 30 in your 30s is a good idea after going through my 40s and seeing how 30-year-olds act. I'm like, I'd never want to be that again because it makes me remember my bullshit. You know what I mean? Because like when I was in my 30s, man, I thought I had all my shit together. You know, things were starting to make sense, but I was still screwing up. And I didn't see that until I was in my 40s, and then finally hitting 50. You know, it's really insane how you start seeing it. Like, I really don't think people really get straight in the head until they hit 40 years old, to be honest with you.
You know, some never do. I don't think I ever
Oh,
do,
yeah.
really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back to to them days either. The knowledge and person I am now is, I think, a much better person than I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, I wouldn't go back as well. Um, Physically, fingers crossed, touch wood. Not too bad physically. Obviously, some stuff I can't do anymore, and I could do like when I was younger, you know, and I wouldn't want to now.
Hmm.
But I'm just about hanging in there at the moment. You never know what's coming around the corner at our age, right? As you know. But like I'm 18 months from being 60, pretty much now. So I got that to come to now. So
Yeah.
uh,
You got the big six
what I feel
zero.
like when I get there, I don't know.
Well,
If I get there.
you're actually looking good for 60 years old, though, John. And
Yeah, like 58 and a half I am at the moment.
I'm saying that in a non-homosexual kind of way.
Yeah. I'm glad you added that bit in.
Yeah.
No, but you know, when I was, before I got married, I didn't have any grey in my 30s. I was in my 30s when I got married. And it sort of like it happened, the woman I got married, my ex-wife, she fell pregnant pretty much quite soon after we were together. And I could have just carried on and been a bad dad, or I could have been one of these absent dads. I could have done all that. I could have done that, but no, I stepped up to the mark and I thought, no, I want my child to, you know, have me around, so to speak. And we got married and we went from there. Whether or not we would have got married if we didn't have children, I don't know. I'm never going to know now. But the fact is, we did. We had 3 children, and that's the way life went. But like now, I'm older, and I've got a son who's like 8 now. That's quite old having a son at 8 at my age, to be honest. But we're engaged, but we've never got married or anything, and we don't feel the need to get married. We don't like. Maybe one day we will, maybe we won't. It doesn't really matter. It's not important to us anymore. The most important thing is the fact that we're together. But yeah, when I was in my 30s, when I had a child coming along, oh, really, I should get married. Just a thing to do. You can't really, you know, there was people who didn't get married, and when I was that age, yes, of course there were. But most people, it was the to-do thing. Your child on the way, you got married and stuff, you know. But nowadays, it's not so much the case. And I've seen people as well living together for like 10 years, getting married, and a year later, boom, they're divorced. You know, it's just like, it's almost like it's like a mental barrier. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know when you're married. I just don't know. It didn't bother me when I was married, so to speak, because I noticed, but maybe now it would bother me if I would marry. I don't know, you know, no, because we just don't know. We're different people, aren't we, now?
Yep.
But so
For me, that's the one blessing I had is I never got married. You know, I have got 2 sons, but I think the best thing out of the whole deal though was the fact that I never got married, and a lot of people think that that's like a bad thing. You know, like
yeah,
it seems like there's a lot of people out there that believe like when you get married you graduate to something better, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, and I'm like that's something that I had an issue with for quite a long time, you know, because like every time they found out that I never got married, you know, there was something wrong with me. And I was like, and I'd always say, look, man, there's nothing wrong with me just because I didn't get married. I was like, to me, it's actually a blessing because I knew something. I almost got married once, and that would have been a nightmare, you know. And that's my youngest boy's mom. I almost ended up marrying her, and goodness shit hit the fan before that happened. I know that sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
it's true, because if I would have married her, it would have been even worse. Um,
I got engaged 4 times,
oh man,
but I married once.
yeah.
But
So
didn't actually get to give a ring to one of them. We said we were going to get engaged, but we never actually got to the ring stage. We never, it just started to drift apart before we even got to that stage, and so obviously it wasn't meant to be, you know.
mhm.
It was um, it was a lovely girl, but she had severe mental health problems and stuff, and yeah, so she went from there. It wasn't meant to be, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I did. Yeah, crazy. When you look back now,
yeah, I know.
okay, crazy.
I I look back at it, and the one thing that I've always been big on is always, taking responsibility for my own actions,
Yeah,
where I played a part in it. Like, I'd always like pick these crazy women. So if I'm picking these crazy women, what does that say about me?
yeah,
I knew I was crazy, but it took a long time for me to figure out, hey man, if you're crazy, you're picking crazy women, so you need to stop.
yeah,
And the the thing of it is like now I can see it, and that's kind of where things have changed for me. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I'm gonna be celibate for the rest of my life. It's just right here and now. I don't wish to, get into relationships and stuff like that. I seem to enjoy being around females, hanging out, talking without any kind of, you know, fear of any type of commitment. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I'm pretty good with all that. I have no problems with it whatsoever. So how
Hmm.
how long are we into this? You know,
37 minutes of that, I think.
37. Wow,
Yeah.
that Jitsi man, it's telling me it was like an hour and 9 minutes.
Oh no, no, you had it on before. You had it on for half an hour before I started.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought, oh, he's had this on for ages.
I was like,
Yeah, no,
wow.
no, we started at 11 and it's 11:38 on my time zone. So,
Well, I know. I ended up almost getting married, like I said, with my youngest one, and I think that was towards the end of it when I finally realized, that I needed to change some stuff around about that, because I knew her all the way back when I was like 18 or 19 years old,
hmm,
and the crazy part about it was that she was the only one I actually ever asked to marry me, and I knew she was crazier than me,
oh God.
you know. And there ain't too many females that I can actually say that about, you know what I mean? There ain't
Yeah,
at all. So, that after all that happened, that's when I was like, hold on, man, you need to cool your jets, and you need to step back. And just for some reason, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a break.
yeah,
So I took a break, and it's been like 11, 12 years. And that stuff they keep telling you about, you're gonna lose interest and stuff like that, and your motivation's gonna drop, and none of that ever happened at
no,
all.
no,
I get a kick out of how I hear people talk like that, you know.
yeah. It's up to the individual at the end of the day. If they want, like, how can I say? I I lived on my own properly twice in my life. First time was for about like 13 years. I mean, I had girlfriends that stayed with me for a little while and stuff like that, but not like I was lived on my own. I was actually, and I used to find the solitude of it. It was just so. I loved it in a way. I look back at it. It wasn't that bad at all. People say, "Oh, I can't be on my own. Come here." I didn't find it that bad at all. But what I did is keep myself. 'Cause I lived on my own. I just kept myself motivated. I would, in my early teens, I would do weight training. I'd be running, and later on, then I got a band together, and always was busy. Oh, busy. Always kept myself busy, and I was working, of course, and stuff like that. So that's what I did back then. And then when my marriage broke up, and I lived on my own again for about 3 years, I think it was, before I met my partner with now. So the same thing again. I got a treadmill, started training, running, got my weight down, and I just kept myself focused, kept myself busy. You got to, and I had to finish work in that time for about 18 months due to I was paying maintenance for my children, paying costs and stuff for them, but my ex-partner decided she tried to get more out of me, so she went to the child support agency. So actually I ended up paying more, but I couldn't afford to live because I had to pay for a house. I was still paying for the children, and I had this to pay as well. I couldn't do it. I ended up having to finish work, and it was literally driving me insane, you know. And so again, that's what I did again. Get a head down, kept myself busy, and she actually agreed. When I finished work, I got 50-50 custody of the children. I had more access to them after that anyway, so it worked out right in the end. And then so that's what I did. I kept myself busy and went back to work, and I was worked then up until I was just before my 51st birthday, and I finished work to be a stay-at-home dad. And again, kept myself busy, started a YouTube channel, training, you know, kept myself busy. And I don't know why I'm even saying this. I've gone off track, but I'm just saying. I didn't have to be in a relationship, even though I was in a relationship the second time. Yeah, when I at my 50s, yeah, I was then. I didn't have to be in a relationship to survive. Because some people out there say, "Oh, I'm not in a relationship. How am I going to manage? Why I haven't got a boyfriend? I haven't got a girlfriend. How am I going to manage?" There are people out there, and it's just crazy. Because I'm just saying this because it's like, the fact is, you can be on your own, and you actually get to enjoy it. You can get to enjoy it, and people out there who haven't experienced it think, "Oh, I could never live on my own. I could never do that." And some people, they come out of a relationship and they find one as soon as they can after because they don't want to be on their own. And yet sometimes being on your own is like the best thing you can do because it can be self-healing. It can be addictive as well at times. I say it's just so nice. I used to like my old house. I used to like 7 o'clock in the evening, Call of Duty be on. Don't have to worry about no soaps being on the TV. Get on there, play my game. No one to tell me, "Oh, you got to get off this now and watch your program or no this." I just was loving it. I loved it, you know. Yeah, there we go, you know. Yeah.
I know. Whenever it comes to like being addictive and stuff, the relationship thing. When you was talking about needing to be in one relationship after another, I think that's a big issue with a lot of the younger ones today because, like, everybody keeps talking about the divorce rates going up and stuff like that, and I really think that that's one of the big issues that's causing a lot of that is everybody thinks that they have to be in a relationship when they really don't have to. And like you said, you know, they'll leave one relationship and just as soon as they leave one, they're all of a sudden they're out looking for another one. And that's both sides of the street too. That's male and female. They're all like that. It's pretty messed up. If they haven't already found a relationship before they dump their last girlfriend, they dump their last girlfriend and they start looking for a new one. You know, it's never let's take a break. You never hear that from them. At least I don't ever hear it. So.
I've been guilty of it myself. Finished with a girl 7:30 on a Friday night, and by 9:15 I was dating another girl. So I have been there when I was very young and stupid. So I have, done it. I'm afraid to say.
Well, you grow out of that stuff.
Grow out of it, yeah. God, yeah, you do. Now, I now without a relationship, I think I'd just be. I don't know what I do now. I don't know because I'm old. I just don't know. Because I'm so older now, I don't know what it'd be like now. Last time I was single, I was like 45, so it's like a little 13 years ago. So it's a long time, and I'm a different person now. So I really don't know. I genuinely don't know what I'd be like now, a single now. I just don't know.
Yeah, but
It's
like
really hard to choose, no?
bouncing from girlfriend to girlfriend though. Hell, I mean, like, well, I don't know how it was with you, and you know what I mean. But like with me, I mean, that kind of went away, like in the early 20s maybe. And
Yeah.
like today, you see people in their late 20s, early 30s doing the same shit. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy how they keep doing that until like later on in their lives now compared to whenever we were younger. You know, because like you couldn't get away with that shit after about 21. You know what I mean?
No.
When we were younger, they caught on to that shit. They knew you were a player and they didn't want nothing to do with you.
Well, with me, the relationship said about earlier when my girl I was engaged to time me 2 weeks after we got engaged. We went back together, but it wasn't right. It never worked again. It just wasn't right. About 6 months, maybe 4 months after it, I can't remember. We split up. So obviously, I was like hurting for a bit. I really had no respect for women at that time because of the frame of mind I was in. And basically, it led to me getting a job at a supermarket, and I basically was like seeing two girls who didn't get on. I was actually seeing them both at the same time when I was there, which I'm ashamed of now. But at the time, I was hurting. I didn't really care. And it got to the stage they found out about each other and made my life a bit of hell, as you expect is going to happen sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I went to the bakery, started baking, because I went there. I was away from all that, get my head together, and it did sort me out. It did big time. And I had a few relationships when I was in the bakery, but they were steady relationships. There was nothing. I wasn't a player or anything. I was just steady, and it did sort me right out, and it was the best thing I could have done. I said I got a trade behind me as well, and it did get my head sorted, and I've never been like that since. I'm glad to say. So that's 33 years now since I started in bakery. So I'm glad that I'm away from that. I'm not like that anymore. But it just shows one bad relationship can just turn you. You could be the most respectable person in the world, people and women and what have you. You have a bad relationship and you just think all your anger then goes the wrong way, if you know what I mean, or you go that way then. Just saying that's what's happened to me then.
That baking bread might have helped too, because I've heard people say baking bread is like a wonder for you when it comes to becoming a baker. I don't know. I've heard that.
I don't know. I've not heard that. I don't know.
I've heard like baking bread just turns you into the greatest person in the world.
I wouldn't say that because I've known some real a-holes, so to speak, who break bread. So I wouldn't really say that, but I've met some nice people as well. But it's transformed me anyway. I was like the youngest head baker there that they ever had been in that place, and I was turning out 1,000 loaves of bread a night with very little equipment, and there's two of us doing it, and they were good days. I did sort myself out. I sort of still miss them a little bit. I was on permanent nights. I hardly ever saw anyone. Retreated a bit away from society, and I've done that throughout my life. Every so often I tend to just withdraw from people, and it actually helps self-heal me, amends me, so to speak. And now here I am with a big YouTube channel. Loads of people, it's like, oh wow, But I was so far away from this. I was so far away from this. I would say boo to a ghost. But I don't mind it. It's and even to these days, as you know, with my paranormal channel, I took 18 months off it to get my head sorted. I never thought I was going to go back to it even. I genuinely didn't think I was going to go back because I did not want to go back to the videos I was doing, and I genuinely didn't think I was going to go back. And then through you doing an interview with me, it all kicked off again.
Yeah.
So you just never know, Never know.
Yep. They have a saying for that. Freaking, I just had it on top of my head, but it's what was it? Yeah, you never know until you know is one thing. But you were sitting there talking, and I was thinking about it. It was like it kept sticking out in my head, and then when you were done talking, I forgot what I was going to say. But you know, you never know what today's going to bring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's things happen for a reason, kind of thing. You know, it's like whenever you go through that kind of relationship, like I had the same situation. I think the best times that I actually had to get over all that was to be on my own and be by myself and
Yeah.
just not be caught up in a lot of the things that were happening. Because sometimes, sometimes it's always good to freaking back away. You know,
Yeah.
you don't
Definitely.
have to be right there inside of all the craziness and stuff. You can back out and take some time for yourself. So I
Yeah.
agree with that 100%. So we probably better uh, think of some cool stuff to talk about for a little while and then come to the end of it. I think it's like 51 minutes.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I. It's not a subject. I think I thought we could talk about 50 minutes with just two of us. I think
mm-hmm.
if Bob was here, with her input as well. Yes, then it would just spread out more. But that's amazed actually we've been able to talk about this. This is a subject I thought, what can we talk about? Let's do with this. I was like, yeah, I know you brought it up, and it's interesting because there are probably people out there who will identify with it.
Yeah.
But it's funny as we've talked this long about it. It's
Yeah.
really interesting. Really, this happened, but
I'm finding it really hard to actually talk about my perspective of women without bringing up the relationship.
yeah,
I thought it would be the other way around, you know what I mean? Like I could easily talk about it and not have to discuss the relationship aspect of it, but like you can't avoid it.
yeah, I know. I,
You know.
I didn't really want to speak out mine as well, but sort of sometimes you sort of have to. It's just you can't like cycle around them. You have to like because they're part of the story you're trying to tell. Part of what the so it's awkward really to do that.
Yeah. Well, you said it. I mean, you're never going to be able to go around a woman, period. You know, it's, and like, to me, it seems like it's built inside of us to where freaking men are obsessed with women and women are obsessed with men.
Mm.
It just, it just seems natural, you know, that's that way. Or to me, at least, it seems that way.
Yeah,
No way to avoid it, because that's really what threw me off. There's no way of getting around it. I even wrote it in the description. You know, just our way of acting with women, just in general. We didn't even come close to talking about how we acted with the women in general.
mm.
It's like, did you notice that?
Mm. Suppose not. No, well, we have sort of said we treat them with respect. We have sort of that's in general, isn't it? That's sort of
Yeah,
I suppose. I tend to be with women I'm involved with, especially as I've grown as a person. I try to build their confidence up, because they
yeah,
maybe like they've had a relationship before which has dented their confidence, what have you. I tend to always try to build their confidence up. I always try to do that. But yeah, I've been with women who just like try and belittle you. They're out with your friends and they're just trying to like make you look small in front of everyone. And think, why are you like that? Why does the need to make me feel small to make yourself feel big? Why are you like that? You know what I mean? I've experienced that as well.
yeah,
But I don't like that. I'm just compliment them, and just to build their confidence up. I think to me, there's nothing more beautiful in the world than a confident woman. I think to me,
Yeah.
you've got beautiful looking women. You've got these yes, they're beautiful, yes, but they could be. Don't get respect, no disrespect, but a lot of them can be very superficial, very shallow. You know, not all, but some can be, and yet I think to myself, there's nothing more. Yeah, a confident woman, I think, is nothing more beautiful to me. I think myself, to my perspective now, as a 50-year-old, 80-year-old man, that's what I look. You know, to me, that's more beautiful to me than some someone you see on the cover of Vogue or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just.
Well, here's a good example. Like, remember how everybody used to say how beautiful Madonna is?
Oh yeah.
Look at her now. Have you seen no pictures of her?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
She's not looking pretty anymore, is she?
No.
And it's like she's not in the spotlight and everything like that. And
Yeah.
It's like I would really love to hear what she has to say about her life now that she's older. To be honest with you, because she doesn't do all that stuff anymore. You know.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, I bet you her whole outlook on a lot of things have changed.
Oh yeah. Totally different. Yeah. I say we've set down this show with our perspective from when we were young to where we are now. But it would have been interesting to start from a woman's point of view, how their perspective changed towards men and stuff. But maybe that'll come in another show or something another time. But yeah, you're right. I bet she's all the things she used to do when she was young and crazy. You know, I bet it must be totally different now. Surely she must have a much different outlook now.
Yeah.
Better outlook, I would think. But yeah, she was like an original female rebel, wasn't she? She was.
Yeah. She,
you know what I mean?
she was probably her and Cyndi Lauper. And
Yeah.
not really Cyndi Lauper. She wasn't like as bad as what Madonna was.
No, Madonna was crazy. Not crazy. I mean, she was really wild.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I saw something Living on a Prayer, like the route she went down when she made that video and stuff like that. That was really like, I mean, wow, you can't. It's just like, oh, really like,
Yeah.
controversial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was that one where she was Papa Don't Preach?
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I can't remember the video of that one.
The one where it sounded like in the song she ended up getting pregnant or something.
Oh yeah, I think she did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty intense for that time and age. These days, it's no big deal. Just another song.
No, not these days. No.
Mhm.
So
We are at 58 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you want to call it?
yeah, we'll call it now. Yeah,
Okay.
I got a few jobs to get on with, so I'll call it. Yeah. 59 minutes.
59 minutes, man. We actually pulled this off. We went
Yeah,
a
I didn't-
straight
I-
hour.
I thought we were going to struggle, to be honest. We started off, I thought, what can I say about this subject? Because it was like your idea this week, and I was like, what the hell? I knew what to say at the start, because when I said what I said. After that, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what am I going to say, you know? Am I going to take a pit for myself? No.
Well, it's kind of what I said before too. Like, you know, these aren't very, you know, this isn't a subject you can really be all sensitive about. You know what I mean? But it
Yeah,
does
you can't.
really need to be discussed,
Yeah,
especially
it does.
when it comes to like different perspectives at different age groups. You know, like my whole outlook on things change as time goes by, just like yours. I mean, it happens to everybody, so
Yeah, of course,
you
yeah.
know, I figured it'd be a good topic.
Okay.
So, I guess we can call this one for the day. Well, this is episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4, yeah.
Man, we're getting there.
Yeah, I think oh no, it's going to be episode 5. The next
Yep.
thing now, next job.
Now we gotta figure out a topic for next week.
Yeah. Are we
I,
going to? I was going to ask you. You know, like the show falls on Boxing Day. I'm not sure what the Christmas holidays how I'll be able to get. I don't know if I'll be able to actually get online then, or if I will be. I have to be like part time, so to
okay.
speak. It's 2 weeks. I think it's going to be.
Now we can actually postpone that. We
Yeah.
cancel it for holidays because Boxer
Yeah.
Day's important to you guys over there. So
Yeah.
I
Uh,
ended I ended up canceling for Thanksgiving.
all right. Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. It's just this with the school holidays. It's very awkward for me to. Um, I might be able to do it, but I definitely not. I won't be able to Boxing Day. Anyway, definitely not that day for sure. That's for sure. I won't be able to do that day.
okay.
Which is a Tuesday, but week before. No, he's on. I'll have to check. I'll work out the holidays when he's off, and I'll get back to you. I'll talk to you off. You know,
Okay.
of this if I work it out from there.
All right. And I will talk to you later, John.
Okay,
You have a good day.
and you. Bye all.
Bye bye.